Hey guys, today we'll be looking at the processing behind Porcelain Amumu's VO design. This is one of the most fun projects I've worked on in quite a while, so let's dive in. The first thing we'll do is listen to all of the layers together and then check out what each layer is doing. And then after that, we'll actually dive into the plugins I'm using to get the sound. So here are a couple of Porcelain Amumu's lines if you're not familiar already.
Let's be friends forever. Let me give you a hug. Hey, come back.
So, Porcelain Amumu, little teapot magical dude. The main driving force behind this sound is coming from this first layer.
Let's be friends forever. Let me give you a hug.
So that's the magical reverb and such. Layer 2 sounds like this.
Let's be friends forever.
And those two layers make up the bulk of the sound.
Let's be friends forever. Let me give you a hug.
Then layer 3 and layer 4 are more towards the intelligibility side of things. Layer 3 brings a lot of body to the sound.
Let's be friends forever. Let me give you a hug.
And then layer 4 is literally just a bandpass dry signal.
Let's be friends forever.
Which brings just a bit more intelligibility when it's in the game space.
Let's be friends forever.
So what's actually happening behind each layer? All right. A lot of the sound is coming from these first two plugins. If you're not familiar with Resin, it is a plugin where this little dot controls a bunch of resonating filters down here. And I have several different LFOs tying to various parameters that are moving the filters around, and it gives it this sound.
Let's be friends forever.
But if you stack two of them, and the second instance has completely different parameters set.
Let's be friends forever. Let me give you a hug.
It has a super unpredictable pattern to it. And that was one of the main things that I aim for when I'm working with tonal IRs, because otherwise they can start to sound very static and the same on each line, which is definitely not what you want. Next, I have an EQ that's just cleaning up some of the resonance, and now we put it in a space.
Let's be friends forever. Let me give you a hug.
So I used a bathroom here because bathrooms maybe are made out of ceramic. I don't know. It sounded cool. Next, I put it in this IR, and my intention here was if we listen to the signal before,
let's be friends forever.
There's a bunch of cool tonality in there, but it doesn't feel like it's emanating from Amumu right now. Right now, it sounds more like it's just inside of him.
Let's be friends forever. Let me give you a hug.
So now it's turned into a proper IR. Next, I added in some vibrato just for a little bit extra movement. And then we dive into Absinthe. Now, not a whole lot is going on in this Absinthe patch. Most of it is there's a wave shaper here that's really pushing out the harmonics that are being generated by the Resin plugin instances. And then I just messed around with Aetherizer a little bit, which is a pretty sick sounding reverb thing.
Let's be friends forever. Let me give you a hug.
If I were to do this again, I would probably pull back a little bit on the wave shaper, but that's not what I did. Next, on layer 2, most of this is going to be just the speakerphone.
Let's be friends forever. Let me give you a hug.
And then throwing it through a different bathroom.
Let's be friends forever. Let me give you a hug.
And then a transient shaper to tame out the highs a bit, and an EQ just to clean up resonance that was way too harsh.
Let's be friends forever.
Cool. And now moving on to the last significant layer. There's not a lot to show here because it's just mostly this altaverb and a little open jar IR.
Let's be friends forever. Let's be friends forever. Let's be friends forever. Let's be friends forever. Let's find some friends. Come play with me.
Cool. That is a plugin chain. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you learned something.